What's going on, world? This is your boy Nick from Toe Tech, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the Nacon Revolution Pro Controller for the PS4. I got this thing in hand right here. Take a look at the box right here. Focus in on it. So you see it right there. Pro Controller for the PS4. This is something similar to the Elite controller that the Xbox One has going on. This is a licensed product, so it's not made by Sony, but it's a licensed product for the PlayStation 4. And some of the things that you can do with this is it has dual vibrations, 46 degrees analog sticks, adjustable weights, secure cable, and it's fully programmable. So that means that you can hook this thing up to your PC and you can set your inputs and your macros and things like that for whichever game that you will want to play with. Say you're playing with Destiny, you have your buttons configured for Destiny, and you jump on Battlefield 1, you have your buttons configured for something else like that. This controller will be able to do that because it's fully programmable, and all you have to do is click a couple of buttons and you can hop from setting to setting. So that's just one thing that caught my attention with this controller, and I thought it would be good. What else about this controller? Key features. We touched about the 46 degrees amplitude for the analog sticks. Shortcut buttons on the back, you have 4 of those. The adjustable weights, you have an 8-way directional pad, and you have dual analog triggers. So I don't know if you're familiar with the DualShock 4 right here, but what you have is these analog triggers right here. This thing right here has some better triggers. They're supposed to be more suited for shooting games and things like that, or even racing games. One thing I would like to note that they kind of copied the Xbox triggers with this, and I would love to see that rumble in those triggers. That's something that Xbox has going on with those rumbles in those triggers, but this one right here doesn't have that as far as I know. Now I will test this thing out and let you know for sure if it does have the rumble in the triggers. Another thing to point out is this controller right here is wired, so you can't get a wireless connection with this. This thing is wired, and one of the things that they said why they had it wired is because it cut down on input lag. If you know anything about wireless controllers and you're doing pro gaming, wired controllers has input lag, so they said they would negate the input lag, but you would have to have a wired controller. So without further ado, did I read all the key features? Twin shoulder buttons. You have your normal PlayStation buttons, your PlayStation share button, your home button, your options button, and you have your touchpad and your LED, something like your light bar on your PS4. And it also has a 3.5mm headphone jack, which I think is pretty good. And it also comes with a storage pouch, which is also excellent if you want to take this thing on the go. So without further ado, still got my trusty unboxing knife, and shout out to JWish32 or Jwish32, however you say it. He gave me a recommendation in my other video on which unboxing knife to get, so I got that thing ordered, man, and I'm glad somebody finally gave me input on the unboxing knife, because look at this thing, man. This thing is dull, man. This thing is not suitable for anything. You can't cut anything with this except for yourself. So I'm glad JWish that hooked me up with that recommendation, man. Shout out to you, man. Without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this thing and let's get it rolling. Got 2 right there, and if you ever watch any of my other videos, you know I do not like to tear up boxes because I love my boxes, and it has tape at the bottom too. I love my boxes. I love to keep my boxes, just in case I want to get rid of the product one day down the road. I have the boxes to store it with, and things like that. And I also want to show you a picture of the back before we move on at this thing, if you can see it. There it goes. And I'm going to point out something else when I open this thing up. But here we go. We're going to open this thing up and we're going to see what we get. It opened like this. Let's see if I can open it up for you. I hope this thing don't fall out messing with y'all. I'm trying to give y'all the first sneak peek inside the box, but I don't want it to fall out. So let's go. Let's do it together. You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. And we just have another cover. Womp womp. So here it is. The controller's behind this thing. So we're gonna move this cover out the way. We're gonna do it together because we're a team in this. I don't want my controller to fall out. But here it is, man. This is the Nacon Pro Revolution controller for the PS4, and man, that thing looks, dang, this thing looks good. The videos don't do this thing justice, man. You got to see this thing for itself. That's what you got right there. That's the packaging you have right there. That's what you got. That's what it looks like. Let's take this thing out the box. I'm gonna set this box to the side for a minute. I'll come back to that and show you what else is in the box. Man, this thing feels good. This thing feels good. It feels solid. It feels mostly like an Xbox One controller. If you're familiar with Xbox One, this thing feels almost directly like an Xbox One controller. Analog sticks right here feel impressive. And one thing I want to point out is that if the camera will focus in, there's metal right there. In the DualShock 4, there's no metal. So what you get is you would get your plastic will wear out the more you play the game. Your plastic will wear out. So shout out to them for that, man. There's the buttons on the back. I got big hands, so this thing is real comfortable. I got very big hands, so I can hit these buttons on the back easily. I can hit that one, then that one, right here. Bam, 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 bam. You know, I'm already digging this controller. Triggers are solid. One thing I would like to notice is that the face buttons, the PlayStation buttons, are bigger than they are on the DualShock 4. Those are some big buttons right there. This is a DualShock 4 for comparison. You see them? Those are some big buttons, but I'm not mad at them because it feels good with the controller. It's like, and they're clicky too. Very clicky. It feels real good. And the material right here is kind of like a matte type. I don't know what kind of material this is, but it's kind of like a fingerprint resistant material. So that's good. So let's go around the controller and see what we got. We got the touchpad right here. You know, the standard PlayStation touchpad right here. You got your analog sticks right here. And it's a different texture right here. You got kind of like a grip right here on the right analog. But you don't have the same thing on the left, which is kind of weird. I wonder why they didn't make it the same way. But you got the concave and you got the convex. What the concave is, meaning your thumb goes inside of the little clicky thing. And the convex is meaning it goes the opposite way. It kind of sticks up. And they have their logo right here, which is, I don't know, I guess they had to put their logo somewhere, but the logo is right there. Your PlayStation button in the middle. You got your options and your share button up at the top. And you have your little light bar. If you're familiar with the PlayStation 4 light bar right here, that's what this thing is right here. So you can tell which player you are. Now, if you have PlayStation VR or anything like that, or your PlayStation camera, you're not going to be able to use this controller with that because it's not going to be able to read it because you know, the light bar is usually at the top. And also at the top, while we're talking about the top, this is your connection right here for your cable. Remember I said this thing was wired instead of wireless, so this is your connection right here. It's a proprietary connection too. It's not micro USB or anything like that. So if you lose the cable that goes to this thing, you're out of luck because this is a proprietary connector. But this thing right here, one thing I would like to point out up top is a fingerprint magnet. It's kind of a glossy, and I already got fingerprints and everything all up on it, so that's one thing to point out. But other than that, man, this thing feels good at the hand. The D-pad is 8 directional, which means that you'll be able to do a Hadouken. You know, if you play your Street Fighter 5, you'll be able to do that real easy with this D-pad. Feels real solid. I kind of like that. And your 3.5mm headphone jack is at the bottom. So some of the other licensed controllers by Sony don't have this 3.5mm headphone jack. And I love that 3.5mm headphone jack because I got a set of Astros that I use for gaming. And 3.5mm headphone jack is where it's at. And on the back, what you have on the back is you have your modes where you can program your buttons and your profiles. So you have your mode 1 and mode 2 and your profiles. And I think you could store up to 4 profiles on this controller. Like I said, you have Battlefield, you can have a profile for Destiny, you can have a profile for Grand Theft Auto, or a profile for Madden or something like that. Set your audibles or something. Man, you can do all types of things with this controller. And you have your buttons right here, your M3, M1, M2, and M4 right here. All within reach. Don't have to take your hand off the controller. Man, this thing is, I'm gonna be a beast. I am gonna be a beast with this controller. Let's put this thing to the side and see what else is in the box. And I'll show you about the weights in a second too when I get to that. See what else is in the box. Pull this up. So you have your instruction manual and look like some stickers. They give you some stickers. I'm not putting stickers on anything. I like stickers, but I don't like putting them on things. I just like to look at stickers. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But you have your little carrying pouch. And I'll open it up for you so you can see what's inside of it. Carrying pouch for you. Oh, you have a microfiber cloth too, because they knew that this thing was a thing. I was wondering why. I read in the reviews it was like it comes with a microfiber cloth and things like that. I was wondering. I was like, why do you need a microfiber cloth with this controller? But it's right here. It's right here. It's with these buttons and things like that. These buttons are fingerprint magnets, so you want to clean this off up here. All up here is glossy, so that's why they give you a cloth. See that? That's why they give you a cloth. So, okay, you got your cloth right there. You got your carrying pouch. Look like it's just big enough to put your controller in. Gonna have a snug fit. You got your carrying pouch right there. It has a zipper on the side for, I don't know what. We're gonna investigate that. But you can, you got your drawstring right here. But I'm curious to see what in the world the zipper is for. Maybe for the cable. There's a zipper right here. Okay. I'm assuming it's not really big enough for the cable though. I don't know what this little section is for. I don't know, get creative I guess. But we're gonna set that to the side. Also in the box, you have your cable in here and your weights. Now they give you weights because some people like their controller as a heavy controller. I really don't have a preference because the DualShock 4 is kind of light. It's not really heavy, but weight wise, yeah, this one is definitely lighter than the DualShock 4 without the weights in it. So I will probably put some weights in it to try to get it at least at the same heft as the DualShock 4. And I'll demonstrate that in a minute. But you have your cable. Man, one thing I noticed about this cable is on point. This is a braided cable. This cable is braided. So what that means is it's very durable. You don't have to worry about this thing cracking or anything like that. It looks like a long cable. I think they said it was like up to 9 feet. So you don't have to be exactly close or sitting right beside your system to have this thing plugged in. Pretty long cable, and it's braided. And also another thing with braided cables, which is good. I already got it tangled up. That's what I was about to talk about. Cables tangling up. I don't like cables because they tangle up. I think I did this to myself trying to open it up, but this thing is already tangled. But one reason I don't like cables because they get tangled up. That is my pet peeve against cables. But this is a pretty long cable. And hopefully, since it's braided, it won't get tangled up. Yep, it's about 9 feet. So on one end right here, we have the connection for your controller. And like I said, it was a proprietary connection. And what you do is you kind of look. You have to look to see which way you put this thing on. Put it on there, and you twist it on. Has like a notch up top, and it twists it on. Push it on, twist it on. There you go, and it's connected. Connect the other end into your PlayStation 4, and man, you'll be set. And one thing I forgot to mention, on the front of the controller is a LED around the ring. So this thing will light up. It lights up blue when you're in normal mode, meaning that you don't have the buttons reprogrammed. But if you switch it to mode 2, this thing will light up red, so you'll know that you have your configurable buttons, and it also tells you which profile that you're on. Let's put this cable to the side. Let's see what else you have in this box. At the very bottom are your weights. So you have different size weights that come in the box, and your little key. It's sort of like a SIM ejection tool, but it's a key to open the compartment for the weights. And you have different size weights. You have 10 grams. For those of you who remember your weights in school, 17 grams. And you have 14 grams. So you can put up to 2 in each slot. And to get to the slot to put your weights in, what you do is you get your little key, and at the bottom it's a notch at the bottom of the controller right there, and you put your key in there and you twist it, and this comes up like that, and you'll slide it out somehow. Not sure how, but we're in this together, so we're gonna do it together. Okay, slide it like that, and then you pull it out, and it has like a cradle to put your weights in there. So I'll probably put a couple of weights in there to try to get it, you know, as the same health as the DualShock 4, at least. But other than that, that's pretty much all that we have in this box. I'm going to be doing an official review of it once I play around with it. I don't like to do reviews until I play around with this thing for at least a while, you know, a couple of weeks at least, you know, to test out the kinks. And I will let you guys know how this controller is. But so far, I'm impressed with the build quality. The build quality is very solid. I love the finish of this, the matte finish, you know, and it feels good in the hands. But fingerprint magnet up here, that's where your hands are. This thing will get fingerprints ate all up. And I'm not a fan of wired controllers, but hey, don't have many options. But the thumbsticks feel good, and if you love Xbox controllers, you have your offset thumbsticks, which is really great, which I really love. I love the Xbox design controller more, so I love that playing style. So that's pretty much it for this video, man. Hit that thumbs up if I helped you out. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and also stay tuned. In a couple of weeks, be on the lookout for the official review of this product, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.